Welcome back. Finishing out our notes. Now, these are two-step equations. Hopefully you'll remember, and we'll get some paint chips this weekend, and we can do our fun little like study guide chart thing on Monday. But I didn't remember to ask you to do that, and plus it's just a weekend trip to Lowe's. It was probably more fun. But we're going to practice now, because the more we do it, the better we're going to get. You need to mess up first, so get after it. All right, so first and foremost, a lot of us, when we have extra things, another call out, that equal sign, put a line, because you guys write like chickens with their feet sometimes, which is fine, except that you're going to lose your own work, and you're super smart, and you can do this if you keep your work clean and neat. So that's going to be our like bar, classroom to classroom. So I want R by itself because it's the only variable there. And that box around the R, like we talked about the very first week we had live class, it seems like silly, but it'll let you see. When you look at an equation and don't know where to start, it lets you see what you need to move. You need to move whatever is sitting with that variable. Because again, like our literal equations, we have to get the variable by itself. So I have a 5 that is attached by addition. It is a positive 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 because the inverse of addition is subtraction. And then that's going to leave me with R equals, because these guys now go away. So R equals 23 minus 5. So I have $23. I spent 5. It's going to leave, I have $18 left. Is R by itself? Yep. Did we keep our things nice and neat and straight? Yep. Killed it. All right. Next one. At any point, I challenge you to pause the video and just go after it. Like I said, if you mess up, it's okay. That's the name of the game. Mess up now. Once you find your mistake, you have questions to ask. Once you have questions to ask, we can answer them and iron them out. So your big divide line through your equal marks. Box in your variable because that lets you know what needs to move because you need the variable by itself. I have a minus 17. The inverse of subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 17, add 17. So negative 29 plus 17 is going to give me a negative 12 equals, and x is by itself. You're done. Negative 12. Great job, right? All right, another super simple one. Pause it. Try it. I bet you can get it right. Great divide. Variable. First thing I need to move is that 8 away from the variable. Don't move that 16 over there with the variable because you're just making more complicated problems. You want the variable by itself. So minus 8, so it's a negative 8. The inverse of subtraction, or the opposite of a negative, is addition. So we're going to do plus 8. 24 equals 6v. Now, is v by itself? Not yet. So now it looks just like the first problems we did in the first video. 6 times v. What's the inverse of multiplication? That's right, division. So we're going to divide both sides by 6. And then we're going to have v, because these cancel out, or they make a 1, and remember the 1's imaginary, equals 24 divided by 6, which is going to be that positive 4. And v is now by itself. Success. Okay, I don't know what about 16, 17, and 18 blows y'all's mind. But it is not that hard. You just have to slow down, have to pay attention, because you guys know inverse operations already. So it's just a matter of staying neat and staying with your head in the game. So we're going to put our big great divide. I need k by itself. It is a bit messy. There's a lot of things going on here. We have an 8 in the denominator. So that means k minus 8 is divided by 8. We have to get that out of the way before we can touch that k minus 8. If there's anything in the denominator, when it's one big piece like that, it has to move first. And we already know that the inverse of division is, say it loud and proud for those in the back, multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides. This is k minus 8 divided by 8. So it says divided by 8 when we read it out loud. So we are now going to multiply by 8 to get rid of it in the denominator, or in the bottom, or I like to call it the basement. So these go away. And I now have k minus 8 equals 8. I still need k by itself. It's not by itself yet. I have minus 8. So that's subtraction. And the inverse of subtraction, say it loud and proud because we know this, is addition. So this is subtract by 8. It's the way it is. So what we're going to do is add to move it. So add 8, and then These guys go away. So we end up with k equals 16. So again, this is a big bundle mess, right? That k minus 8 is on top of 8. One step at a time. Again, you've got this. All right, so number 17, not a big bundle mess, but there's that fraction that everyone loves so much. So we're going to put our great divide. Now, r is right here in a little mess. And separate from that fraction is a minus 6. So we need to do that first. Not a big fraction mess, little fraction with some fun basic stuff on the outside. So since that's us subtracted by 6, the inverse of subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 6, add 6. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. And then this whole thing just comes down, r over 2. I'm going to extend my line so I don't mess up. And I don't know if you've noticed the variable's been switching sides. The game does not change. As long as you follow it straight down, you should have no problem. All right, so now we're looking at r divided by 2. And for the 150th time, again, loud and proud, the inverse of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2 because this is r divided by 2. So we're going to multiply by 2. And that's going to give us, these 2's disappear. R looks good by itself. And then 2 times 2 is 4. Yay. One more. Pause it. It's just like the last one. The number just changed. And the variable's on the other side. But that's it. You can do it. Pause it. All right. We got a little mess fraction over here with some other basic stuff going on the outside. So we have to take care of that basic stuff first. That is a minus 3. The inverse of minus, or the inverse of subtraction, is addition. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. So we have n over 3. And then negative 8 plus 3. So that means I owed you $8, but then I gave you 3. And I really would like you to try these without a calculator, but if you get stuck, use them. So I owe you 8 and I pay you 3. So that means if I owed you 8 and I gave you 3, that means I owe you 5. Because 5, 6, 7, 8 gives me 8 back. Now, n is not by itself. That is n divided by 3. N divided by 3. And the inverse of division, again, is multiplication. So we're going to multiply to get rid of those 3's. And n is going to equal a negative 15. Ta-da. All right, last one is going to be a little more complicated. Literal equations. It's Friday. That's probably going to be it for the learning new stuff. But get them down in your notes. Midterm is open notes. The more examples you have, the more apt you are to see a problem repeat itself. All right, guys. See you next video.